All right, we're moving into the second stage of my top 60 slabs in my collection at the end of 2025. These are going to be books 21 through 40. If you want to see what they are, you got to stick around. Welcome back, family. Team Ohana here. I'm your host, Rich, and we are continuing with the countdown of the top 60 slabs in my collection at the end of 2025. I try to do this once a year. I try to get this as quick as possible. I only do slabs because grading is subjective. I do have raws, but one of the big criteria of the top of what makes it a top book is the value, and the value is based on the grade, and my grading is not the best as everybody else. So if I just limit it to slabs, which is the majority of my good books, majority, not all, then I could just say, look, that's a 6.0, that's a 3.0, that's a 9.8. I don't have to worry about, because some of these books have major price differences when you go to different grades. Second is I do the my house is on fire approach. Is like, house is on fire, I run outside, fire department says, look, you got time to run inside the house and get one book. So I go running in, I grab one book, I run back out. That's obviously my number one. Okay, you got time to get one more book, run back inside, get another book. That's obviously my number two. So that's how I do this. It is, a good chunk of it is based on value, but it's also sentimental value and how hard or easy it is to replace. Because, I mean, let's be honest, Spider-Man number 300 is a lot easier to replace than, say, a book from the 1940s. You might only have 20 of one, where the other one, you got 20,000. So I have to take that into consideration. Do I have any personal attachment to it? Do I have a story like when I bought it that lit me up or something like that? So the other thing that I'm doing a little different this year, and you will see it on this countdown when two instances in the top 20, is I have linked together books. And what I mean is, let's just say, I want to use an example. Let's just say I had a decent grade Hulk 180, 181, 182, first appearance of Wolverine. I would present that as one book, okay? Just to try to make it a little easier. If I said, for some reason Stray Dogs was expensive and I had cover A, B, C, D, and E, all in 9.8, I would just say the Stray Dog book. Stray Dogs, number one, these copies. So it could be a number, it could be different versions of the same book. I'm just presenting them as one list, one number on the list. All right, so without further eloquence, let me get moving with this list. Coming in, this is the first, last, and only book. Well, not last, because I'm sure I'll buy more in the future. But it was the first time and only time that I ever bought a book off the Heritage Auctions. I love Christmas-themed books. You saw a pretty good one in the top in books 41 through 60. If you didn't see it, you need to go back and check that video. But anything that's Christmas related or even Christmas adjacent, which this one kind of is. This is the first appearance of this character in comic books. They had a 9.0 that sold. I was looking at it and it went for like way real high. I couldn't touch it, but then I guess there were a lot of people there that were there for the 9.0 and nobody paid attention to the 8.5 of Frosty the Snowman. So it's an 8.5 off-white pages, Frosty the Snowman, and it even has an additional Frosty the Snowman cartoon on the back. But yes, this is the first appearance of Frosty in comic books. This was from Dell Publishing in 1951. So really was happy to add that one to the collection. This book, I used to have two of these. I had a little bit lower grade, and then I got this one. And this is Ultimate Fallout number 4. This book has really gone down a lot because people are still waiting for the either the third installment of the Spider-Verse movies to come out, or to see Miles Morales in the MCU or Sonyverse, which Sonyverse is pretty much dead at this point. I also had a 9.2 of this, which I at one point did donate to, this was last year, to Comics Curing Cancer. Get the coin ready. Da, da, da. So if you haven't checked out Comics Curing Cancer, you have to. It's an organization that we have an auction every single year in October. People donate books and artwork and all kinds of stuff. 100% of the money that you spend there goes directly to the American Cancer Society. Matter of fact, doesn't even go through Comics Curing Cancer's hands. Okay, there's a link there that when you buy something, the link takes you to the American Cancer Society. You make a donation in the amount of what your purchase price was, and then Comics Curing Cancer gets a notification that you made a donation. So this year we broke 60 $65,000. I'm a participant in it. I am not an organizer. Okay, they do all the work. Okay, I'm just here to try to help promote them. So they broke $65,000. I was glad to participate in it, and I would love to see you guys do that too. So Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales, 9.4 white pages. Yeah. This book has come down a lot, and I'm actually looking to possibly upgrade to a 9.6 or a 9.8. I see 9.8s now selling for the... I've seen them go down for like the 850 range. And I can't afford that right now. Anyway. Let me get my list here. I should have had that ready the whole time. Anyway. A lot of times I get halfway through this. I'm like, what number am I on? Well, I got it ready. All right. So coming in at number 38. See how good that is Shock Suspense Stories, number 13, lucky number 13 from 1954, in a 5.5 white page. And anytime you can get these EC books, anything over a 3.0, it's hard to find. But what I really liked about this one is it doesn't have a decapitation or acid face or anything else like that. But what this does have is the only Frank Frazetta story that he did for EC. So Frank Frazetta, Vampirella, the only work that he did for EC Comics is this one right here. So, cool, little binoculars in the back. I wish I had, I could find somebody at some garage sale that was selling all these items that are on the back covers so I could make a video just trying them all out and having fun. All right, coming up next, number 37. We have a book that I just released in the mail call video that for the end of 2025. It was on December 28th, and if I timed this right, you're seeing this video on January 2nd. But this was Evil Ernie number 1, and not only Evil Ernie's first appearance, but also the first appearance of Lady Death, which number 2 is a great copy to get because she's right there on the cover with beautiful art. It's a 5-issue series, and number 3, in my opinion, has the best artwork, period. Back cover is pretty cool on this too, but this one also is signed by Tim Vigil, Brian Pulido, and Stephen Hughes. So we got a triple signed book, CBCS 9.0 or Evil Ernie number 1. All right, we're going to move into a couple of Disney books because you know me and I love my Disney. And you see all the spaces on the wall behind me? Don't worry, it's because I've already pulled down books number 1 through 20. And you can see there's still some decent books up on that wall. I had to go over it once to make sure. And I did find an error, which is coming up later on in this countdown. Anyway, I'm going to switch these two. It's actually important. It's part of the story. But before there was Walt Disney Comics and Stories, there was the Mickey Mouse magazine. And this one's, as you can see, Spirit of 1938, 1937 in the background. This is January 1938, New Year's issue, and a 7.0. Now you can see this thing is humongous. The magazines were very, very big. And the back cover has got a watch that, when this came out, this was a Christmas present last year for Mrs. Ohana, and I tried really hard to find that watch. And I could find ones that were like this in the glass, the band, the hands not working, and they were still like $300-400 to find a working one. There's a comma in the number, and I was like, after buying this, I couldn't go spending $1,000 on a watch, which is pretty much going to sit in the box. But I love this. My favorite part about this is if you look, even at the end of the sickle, scythe, whichever you want, I don't know which it's actually called, but there's a cork on it to make sure that it's friendly and you're not going to hurt any kids. Disney made sure that they weren't hurting kids back in 1938. This was also inside here in the Mickey Mouse. There's different stories that go from issue to issue. You might see like one-page comic, and then the next issue there'll be a continuation of the same comic. Then the next issue will be a continuation of the same story. And this is where it actually starts with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Serial begins, which was on stands before the release of the movie. So if you bought these, you could read the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and know what was going to happen before you went and saw the movie. 1939. So yeah. Now, the reason I showed this, I switched it at the last second here, is because I think Disney realized that it was just a pain in the neck to have these bigger books. So before they had completely switched over to Walt Disney Comics Stories, which started off as reprints of the Mickey Mouse magazine. They actually had the Mickey Mouse magazine in a smaller format, and you can see it. There we go. It's like comic book size at this point, and that's the next book on the list, which is Walt Disney Comics. Mickey Mouse magazine, Volume 5, which meant the 5th year, number 10. This is the special Independence Day issue in a 6.0. You see July 1940. And on the back is a full-page ad for the new movie at the time, Pinocchio. All right, where are we now? We are coming up to issue number 34. Spot number 34 on the countdown. In the last video, I showed you a couple books that I bought when I was trying to get at least one Golden Age book from each of the major DC titles to legitimize my collection to not be so Marvel heavy and absent of all the other comic companies. And I wanted to get myself a decent Superman book. Now this is not one of the in-demand covers. Okay, it's not. That's probably why it doesn't sell as well as like the issues before and above it. But it's a good book. And a really nice cover, a nice page grade. And it's from 1946. We have Superman number 40 in a 7.0. And it does have Mr. Mxyzptlk and Susie appearance. Jerry Siegel did the stories on this, which Siegel and Schuster were the ones that created it. And there's a nice ad on the back showing you how to use, the importance of ever-ready batteries. The tank, remember this is 1946, it's right after World War II. Pretty good whiteness on the cover. I think it could benefit a little bit from a cleaning. I don't know if I'd get a grade bump on it with a CPR, but I'm happy with this book and a 7.0, so I'm not going to touch this. All right, next up. Ooh, yes. Number 33. This is another World War II book, but this is not DC or Marvel. This is coming from Fawcett Publications from 1943. It is along the Captain Marvel universe, and this is a Mary Marvel book, and this I think really could. I think this could benefit. No, maybe not. Starring Mary Marvel, Shazam Girl, it's WOW Comics number 11 from March of 1943 and a 4.5 with a beautiful Women of World War II cover. And it's funny because every single woman looked exactly the same. Yeah, they all had exactly that same face, But and on the back is a free telescope and Wonders of Science ad for. But that's one of those covers I love that cover. I want that book. So WOW Comics, number 11. Really, really cool. Women of World War II cover there. All right, the next one, I just happened to see an auction ending. This goes back a couple of years. And I looked at it. Is that the first version, first one in the comics? And the answer was yes. And I'm like, nobody's bidding on that. It's just not advertised properly. It was from 1948 to Tarzan number 1. This is his first solo comic book. He did appear in some stories of other comic books prior to this, but back in 1948, this was the first book that had it was just named Tarzan. It's 7.0, which is pretty good. It's got a nice pin-up cover on the back of it, and they both present really, really nice. It's a little bit of a bad rap on it, but that's the way it came from the printer. But yeah, I looked at it. I don't even know how much it should cost, but a Dell comic and a 7.0 light tan to off-white pages. So you're rated that cost, which is another good reason to keep it, get it encapsulated to try to limit the amount of air that gets to it and deteriorates the book. And I have no sunlight or UV light in this room, so that works too. All right, we are going to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Spider-Man books now. And like I did in the last video, once I got to a certain point where I'm like, these are all pretty close, let me lump the title together, kind of make it fun. But coming in at number 31, we have Spider-Man number 252. First appearance of, this is the first appearance of the black costume, which I remember, not this exact one, but I remember buying this off the shelf. And this is a newsstand. When I got, would have been a direct sale. when I was a kid, every week I'd go to the comic store, and we didn't have like previews to know what was coming out in a month or 2 months or 3 months, stuff like that. Back then in '84, I remember going to the store just like, looking at the covers, and it was the covers that sold the books back then, And I saw it, and I just kept going, and I stopped. Wait, what? Why is Spider-Man wearing a black costume? That doesn't make any sense. And I think Marvel Secret Wars was out at that point, but we weren't obviously up to issue number 8, or it was just starting. It was something like that. And we were foaming at the mouths for Marvel Secret Wars number 8 to find out where the heck did this thing come from. But yeah, it ties with Marvel Team Up number 141 for the first appearance of the black costume, and of course it has that nice Amazing Fantasy number 15 homage. All right, next up, we're going old school on Spider-Man now. We have Spider-Man number 50, first appearance of the Kingpin, in another iconic cover. It's a 4.0, but it is a white page. Does have, I don't know, Tom Ottaviano, I think that's how if you ever want to contact me, if this is your book, let me know. I'm willing to do a trade to get it back to you. But this is the first appearance of Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, Origin of Spider-Man Retold, Johnny Carson, and Ed McMahon cameo. Actually, I gotta read this now, because well, I'll read it online. I'm not cracking this, but I didn't know Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon were in the book. And it's got that great John Romita cover. Oh, John Romita was so great, man. God rest his soul. All right, next one up, we have, coming at number 29, how apropos, it is Spider-Man number 129. The first appearance of the Jackal, yes, and it is signed by Jerry Conway, who I don't want you to think of the Batman, it's Jerry with a G. This Jerry Conway is the one that wrote this story. I think he's passed, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is an authenticated signature, and it is personalized to Daniel, okay. So Daniel, if you're out there, hook me up, we'll make a trade. But yeah, first appearance of the Punisher. I've wanted to get one for a while, and a lot of times you get these two so-and-so signatures or the authenticated signatures. They don't sell quite as much. People don't want the personalized one. I don't have a problem with it. Actually, it kind of tells a story unto itself, and I kind of like them. All right, that was number 29. Now I got to do a number 28 and a half. And the reason being is, as I was going through all the empty spaces, I saw one book. And I'm like, how is that not in the countdown? That's got to be in the countdown. And I went through and all the books that I wrote it down, but apparently I crossed it off without putting it into the list. So I'm squeezing it in here. You're getting a bonus book here, but I think it's worth it. You got your first appearance of Venom in a Spider-Man number 300 with a customized label. Yeah, and as prices still continue to come down, this might get upgraded also. But it's an 8.5 white page, and it is the direct sale first appearance of Venom. First full appearance. I think, yeah, origin of first full appearance of Venom, Eddie Brock. Because I think you see a little bit of him in number 298 and a little bit more in 299, but then bang. And then, of course, 216, which is a great book, too, which I do have, which is the first cover appearance. And I know people are going to say, no, he appears in the box. You know, like this box, that's not a cover appearance, okay? That's one step away from being a sticker. All right, we'll go one more Spider-Man book in this grouping, and it is one of my two favorite cover arts of all time. There are two comic books that, ever since I was a kid, I just loved the artwork in them. And there's so many great artwork out there, but this is like one of those ones, and there's other books that I like more now, but when I was a kid. So this is kind of like, I love the comic, and it's nostalgic to me. And I did a show a little over a year ago, and I didn't have hardly any sales. And but I did make enough off of a couple sales to go over to a dealer and take the money I made and buy this book. Again, this is my second favorite cover when I was a kid. It is Spider-Man number 62 with Medusa on it in a beautiful 9.0. Really nice. It's clean. The back cover on this thing looks beautiful as well. So I'm happy to get my Medusa in a 9.0. I would have loved it if it was straight white, white pages. It's off-white to white. It's close, but I just thought that was a great cover when I was a kid. Now, I know I said it several times. It was my second favorite cover as a kid. Well, what was my first favorite cover? Oh, that was X-Men number 50. first full appearance of Polaris. I always loved this one. This one, right after I got that, I'm like, well, I got one. I gotta go look for the other, and I found an 8.0 white page, decent price. Again, it's the first full appearance of Polaris. I got this a little over a year ago, and from what I've heard, Polaris may be involved with the MCU going forward, and I'm really looking forward to that. And that back cover looks really nice and clean too. So, one Romita, one Steranko. Oh God, the covers that they drew back then. No computer assistant doing things back then, you know. All right, so this one is no number whatsoever, and this is one of the books that Rob wants to get off me, but I'm not selling it. But I do keep my eye open. If I see another one, I will get it for him. This came out in 1933, okay, and it's a miniature book, but it is the first print, because all he had at the time was a radio show. The first book that was put in print for Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Okay, and this is a 4.5, but it is white pages from 1933. We're 7 years away from being 100 years old on this book. And in case you were wondering, yes, it was produced by Kellogg's, and that was their advertisement on the back. I didn't know Kellogg's made coffee. Yeah, Pep Bran Flakes, Corn Flakes, All Brand. So in case the Pep Bran Flakes weren't enough, they also sold All Brand, Rice Krispies, whole wheat biscuits, and Kellogg's coffee. Yeah, that back cover desperately needs to be cleaned. But that was one that no recent sales in a long time. Somebody had one on eBay. Nobody knew what to bid on it. They had to buy it now, and nobody bid on it at all. So as the auction ended, and I said, would you? I didn't. I wasn't there for the auction. What are you looking to get for it? So he messaged me back. I don't know what's the going price on this thing. I can't find it anywhere, which I've seen it now, but at the time. And I said, well, and would you take X? And he's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, really? I thought we were going to start a negotiation there, but okay. And I'm very, very happy with it. All right, moving up the list. We have number 25. Ooh, wow. Going through this list. This is another one of those EC books, and let's see, it's got Atomic Explosion panel, it's got a Hypodermic Needle panel, Al Feldstein and Bill Gaines, Wally Wood art, 1952, Weird Fantasy number 11, but in an 8.5 white page. Yes. I love it when I can get white page books, especially from the EC stuff. Like, how did this one not wind up in some funeral pyre? I don't know. And it's got the nice prizes for everyone on the back. I mean, the colors on this thing are so nice, so beautiful. There are some issues with the bottom staple and the spine, which kept it out of the 9 range. But overall, the book is sharp. It's obviously clean and pressed, and I'm very, very happy with that. You get that nice Feldstein down here at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Now here's another one that I showed in the last mail call of 2025. This one that's so close. It's just missing by one number. You know, it's like, imagine if you can get your hands on Amazing Fantasy number 14. It's not the same, but it's right there. So you kind of like, So couldn't get a Startling Comics for 49, but I got a 48, which in a 6.0, off-white to white pages. And yes, this is an airbrushed Schomburg cover. Oh, I love this. Love it. And it, also on the back, it's got the ad for that old electric football game. There's something I wish I could have. But yeah, if I could just somehow get one number higher, it's the, if you're not familiar with the Startling Comics 149, it's the Bender issue. It's the one that if you get a 0.5, you're still looking at $7,000. Actually, I think I'd rather have... It's close. I'm trying to think if I'd rather have the Startling Comics 49 or an AF-15. It's close. Probably the AF-15. I don't know if I don't think I'll ever own either one, but let's move on. We got 3 comics left. We're going to wrap this one up. Coming in number 23, a really nice presenting 5.5 of another iconic cover, Silver Surfer number 4. Silver Surfer versus Thor on that Rainbow Bridge. And this is a square-bound book. Remember, the Silver Surfers were big, thick, square-bound books. You see 25 cents. It's not a 1975, 76 book. This is 1969 because they were double-sized back then. And again, beautiful cover art. Stanley story, John Buscema cover, Thor and Loki appearance, Hulk Thing and cameo, and Hercules cameo, Tales of the Watcher backup story. You know when you got a really cool cover, you see somebody else at a Comic-Con wearing a t-shirt with it. All right. So the next one, yes. This is these 2 books go together as one. They're sequential numbers of a Golden Age book. Like before, I showed you my Superman number 40. Well, if I had 40 and 41, or 39 and 40, I would have brought them out together as one. But it's not Superman, and I've already showed the Batman in the last video. Superman here. What's the other big one from DC that I was trying to improve my collection with? It's Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman number 16 and number 17. 4.5 and a 3.0. They're both respectable grades. They both look pretty good. I'll bring them up to you so you can see them one at a time. In Pluto's Kingdom, we have a 4-page Madame Curie feature written by Alice Marble and drawn by Alfonso Green. So in case you really wanted to know about Miss Curie, if you don't want to go to Wikipedia and you just want to read it, just pick up this book and you should be able to find out about her history. And this one is a 4-page feature on Emma Willard, also written by Alice Marble and drawn by Alfonso Green. It's Wonder Woman number 17. All right. Which leaves us with one last book for list number 21 through 40. And it's a good one. This one kind of helped me add another character that I have covered in the Golden Age of DC. I already had the Flash comics in the last list, and of course I had shown you the Wonder Woman, but one of the other characters I haven't gotten from that time frame is Green Lantern. And I do love Christmas books, and I was able to get Comic Cavalcade number 5, the Christmas issue, right there with Flash, with Green Lantern, and with Wonder Woman right there on the cover. And since you can see the same cover right here, it is considered an Infinity cover. This is from winter of 1943, and one of the people that wrote the stories in here was Marston, so the creator of Wonder Woman wrote probably the Wonder Woman version of that. And you did have a story on the back cover of Captain Tootsie Roll. All right, so that wraps up the list for issues 21 through 40. Got one more list to do. I've already got them pulled down and in order, ready to go. As soon as this video is over, I'll record the next one, compile them, get them up for January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. That's why I'm wearing the same dang shirt over and over again. But I don't mind because I'm advertising Comics Curing Cancer. Make sure you get over there and check them out. Remember, we hit $65,000 in 2025. We want to break that in 2026. We're going to need your help to do it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. And until I see you there, mahalo.